in a quiet apartment in North London. No explosions, no alarms, just a man, a modem, and a burning question. Are we alone in the universe? Gary McKinnon wasn't your average criminal. He wasn't a trained spy. He didn't work for a foreign government. In fact, he was a self-taught computer enthusiast, an unemployed systems administrator with a deep curiosity about extraterrestrial life and a strong belief in conspiracy theories. Gary's fascination with UFOs and the belief that the U.S. government was hiding advanced alien technology drove him down a path few would dare to tread. Between February 2001 and March 2002, McKinnon allegedly broke into 97 United States military and NASA computers. From the Army, Navy, Air Force to the Department of Defense, he moved like a ghost. He didn't steal money. He didn't plant viruses, but what he found, or believed he found, sparked panic at the highest levels of the U.S. government. What made his breach so shocking was not just the scale, but the simplicity. McKinnon later admitted that many of the systems he accessed had no firewalls or even basic passwords. Armed with a standard Windows laptop and a dial-up connection, he used a software tool called Remotely Anywhere to access these vulnerable systems. He would log in late at night from his girlfriend's aunt's house, scanning for military networks and quietly slipping inside. His mission? To find proof that the United States had covered up the existence of UFOs and that the government was in possession of alien technology. McKinnon believed that these secrets were being hidden under the guise of national security. His goal was not malicious destruction, but exposure, to shine a light on what he considered a global injustice. One of his most astonishing claims was that he found a spreadsheet titled Non-Terrestrial Officers and logs for fleet-to-fleet transfers. He interpreted this as evidence of an extraterrestrial military program. He also claimed to have viewed a photograph of a cigar-shaped UFO hovering above Earth, a high-resolution image allegedly stored on a NASA computer. Unfortunately for him, the connection failed before he could download it. Just a glimpse, then it was gone. But the U.S. was not oblivious to his presence. McKinnon, who often left digital footprints, even posted sarcastic messages on the servers he accessed. On one military system, he left a message. "Your security is crap. I am Solo. I will continue to disrupt at the highest levels." The reference to Solo was a nod to his online alias, borrowed from Han Solo of Star Wars. His notes became increasingly political after the September 11th attacks, criticizing U.S. foreign policy and the military-industrial complex. That was when his digital exploration turned into what American authorities labeled as cyber terrorism. The U.S. government accused McKinnon of causing over $700,000 in damages, deleting critical files, disabling systems, and bringing several military networks to a standstill. Suddenly, this amateur hacker was facing a lifetime behind bars. If extradited and convicted, he could serve up to 70 years in a U.S. prison. When the story broke, it sent shockwaves through both nations. The British public was stunned. Who was this man who had breached the digital walls of the world's most powerful military? The legal battle that followed was one of the longest and most publicized extradition cases in UK history. The U.S. government demanded McKinnon be handed over, and British authorities seemed initially willing. But as more details emerged, sympathy for McKinnon began to grow. Diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and suffering from depression, McKinnon's mental health became a critical issue in the case. His lawyers argued that extradition would lead to a severe decline in his condition, potentially driving him to suicide. The British public, including many celebrities and members of parliament, rallied behind him. Figures like musician Sting, comedian Stephen Fry, and even politicians like David Cameron voiced their support. They didn't justify what he did, but they questioned the fairness and humanity of shipping a vulnerable man across the ocean to face decades in prison. In 2012, after over a decade of legal limbo, UK Home Secretary Theresa May blocked the extradition. Her decision was unprecedented. She cited human rights concerns and acknowledged the serious risk to McKinnon's health if he were to be sent to the U.S. The decision was hailed as a victory for compassion, but it also drew criticism from American officials who felt justice had been denied. Gary McKinnon never faced trial. He never went to prison. He remained in the UK, living under restricted conditions for years. But his actions left a permanent scar on global cybersecurity policy. After the breach, both U.S. and UK military institutions tightened their protocols. The incident was a wake-up call that even a lone individual, armed with basic tools and determination, could pose a significant threat to national security. To this day, McKinnon maintains that he wasn't trying to damage systems or hurt anyone. He describes himself as a truth seeker, someone who genuinely believed he was performing a public service. Whether you see him as a villain, a whistleblower, or a misguided idealist, one thing is clear. He changed the conversation around cybersecurity, privacy, and the search for the unknown. And what of the UFOs, the secret files, the cigar-shaped spacecraft floating in orbit? We may never know if what Gary saw was real or the result of misinterpreted data and pixelated images. The U.S. has never confirmed nor denied the existence of the documents he claims to have found. The truth, as always, remains elusive. But for a brief moment, a man from North London pierced the digital veil of the most guarded institutions on Earth. He did it not for profit, not for glory, but in pursuit of a single idea, that we are not alone. And maybe, just maybe, he got closer to that truth than anyone else ever has.